Why resistance is a good thing. Now, I know that sounds really weird, especially because we just released a video on how to release resistance once and for all. But hear me out, because it's actually something to get really excited about, baby. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to take this charged energy and associate it to any time you feel resistance so that you can leverage the hell out of that emotion. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another video, BLivers. If you are new here on this channel, I am Elizabeth, and here on this channel, we are all about designing a fulfilling life through conscious creation. So if you are new here, join the family by smashing that subscribe button and commenting down below saying what's up. All right, so obviously the reason why we want to talk about this topic is because a lot of people associate resistance to being a negative topic. And that makes sense, right? Because whenever you are resisting something, it feels pretty negative. You're like, oh, it's causing me to not go after the things that I want, etc., right? It expresses itself in many different ways for people. And so the reason why I want you to know that resistance is actually a great thing and something to get excited about is because it actually reveals three very powerful things about your personal transformation. Very powerful things. And so when you know this, you can stop beating yourself up about, oh, I'm just being lazy, or I'm not cut out for it, or this is too hard. And you can actually get excited, harness that excited energy, smash the resistance, and then go back into what you are meant to do. Go back into reprogramming yourself, stepping back into the new identity that you truly are. So number one, the very first thing that you want to know about resistance is that it actually shows that you are making progress and expanding. It's a good thing because it shows you're making progress and expanding. Like, I know I said it sounds controversial, but the reason why that is because our brains and bodies are doing everything to keep us safe, right? And with our logically, and we might be like, okay, I realize that this might not seem safe and I want differently, but subconsciously that works a little bit differently. So subconsciously, what seems safe are the things that we are familiar with, the things we are doing patterns with. So you guys can kind of see right there with knowing that, like, okay, consciously I could really think something's unsafe, but if it's familiar to me, it's in contradiction with my subconscious. And anything that you are in contradiction with, it goes to create, obviously, resistance. So this is a big thing for people. It shows that you are consciously reprogramming yourself. You're reaching back into the new. You are expanding and reprogramming yourself. So it is a really good sign. It shows that you are actually making progress, even though it feels like you're not. And it's important that you know this, because once you start beating yourself about it, thinking like you're not making progress, you step back into that frequency, you embody that person, and you reinforce the fact that you're not cut out for this, that you can't do what you want, whatever. And that's simply not true. It's actually the opposite. It shows that you are actually stepping into the person that you want to be. It shows that you are making progress. So get excited, get really excited whenever you start facing resistance. But don't worry, because like I said, we did make a video on how to release resistance, because you don't want to stay in resistance. So I'll link that below and in the, all that stuff. And I'll talk about it a little bit in this video. But that's the very first thing. Like, that's why it's a good thing. So number two, and also going into that too, whenever you're doing something new, even if you're like, it goes hand in hand, but like expanding and making progress, but new in general, like you literally cannot avoid it. So I just want you to know that, like, it doesn't matter if it's hard. It doesn't matter if it's quote unquote easy. If it's new, you will face resistance, even if you actually want it. That's why they say to have like a burning desire, because that will overcome the resistance, right? So then number two, the thing that you want to know is that it shows you more of what you want. Like, whenever you face resistance, it's actually impossible for just like a problem to exist. Law of duality states that everything has two endpoints. Everything is merely a subject matter. There's really no bad, there's no good. There's just equal opposite energies that come into creation, that come into play whenever something comes into creation. So there cannot be something that you're facing resistance about to have something that you're like supercharged, excited about. So it's all a matter of shifting our focus, because it's the same topic. And some of the other videos in this playlist on emotional intelligence, I talk about, of course, like releasing anxiety, fear, all these negative emotions, right? But they're not necessarily negative, because we can leverage every single one of them. It's just a matter of shifting our focus, shifting our perspective on that exact thing. So number two, know that whenever you are facing resistance, it's a really good thing because it's showing you more of what you do want. Like any great creation, any great whatever, all came out of a personal whatever. Like Be Live was created out of not having a bunch of, I know you guys probably just watched my other video, like the chosen ones. Like it was created because a lot of conscious creators feel like you are out of place and that you're weird, or that you don't have a place of like-minded people who can help you really just accomplish what you want and thrive in life, right? So every great thing usually comes out of something that was really irritating at one point. So get excited, because when you're facing resistance, you're facing contrast, which is showing you more of what you want. And then last but not least, the third thing is that just like any other emotion, resistance is a signal. Just like any other emotion, resistance is a signal. So what do we do, Be-Livers, whenever we are facing a negative emotion that we don't want to feel? What do we do, Be-Livers? Comment down below. I want to test you guys. Like the guys that have been watching, the guys who've been studying, taking notes. If you're new here, take a guess. But obviously I'm going to reel it right now. Just take a guess real fast. But okay, so anyways, just dive in, because if you don't know, here's the answer. Whenever we are facing a emotion that we don't want to feel, anything less than a high vibration, aka like love, joy, peace, we know that we are thinking something out of alignment from that which we want. It's causing emotions are merely a signal, because they're signaling to us that we are thinking, therefore perceiving, and then taking out an action from that standpoint, that identity. And that standpoint, that identity is quote unquote flawed. And I say flawed because it's not bringing you what you want. Nothing's flawed, but the reason why I say flawed is because it's not in the frequency of that which you want. And you'll know that through your emotions. So whenever you're feeling, last but not least, it's really good when you're facing resistance, because you could be facing resistance because your intuition is like screaming at you and you're just not listening to it. So now your body's like freezing up, or like for some reason you're just like, I really don't want to do this for some reason. Like I know I was facing resistance about working, right? And like I love working because I like doing what I do, but I also hate wasting time and energy on things that I don't feel like are necessary, right? You guys can relate. Drop a comment saying juice if you can relate. You might love doing a bunch of work, but obviously you don't want to waste time and energy, right? And so I would face a lot of resistance in doing things that I thought were absolutely necessary, but I also, and it's still something I'm working through, I came from a belief, especially really growing up, that like you had to work hard to make money. So I would do a lot of unnecessary stuff in order to like obtain my goals and get what I want, and make things a lot harder on myself. And I was facing a lot of resistance because all along my intuition's like, hey, if you pay attention to me, like I'm giving you answers, like just raise your vibe, because I'm like screaming at you, like you're facing resistance, so you can pause, chill out, listen to what I'm saying, because I'm giving you better solutions, giving you better answers. But when you're just like coming from a standpoint like, oh, if I'm facing resistance, I'm just being weak or I'm lazy, like you're not gonna get the message, and you're just gonna be like a stubborn bull like I was, and just like make things harder for yourself, and you don't need to. So just like any other emotion, leverage the hell out of it. It's a signal. You're not supposed to feel negativity for anything other than to obviously show you contrast. Know that you're thinking something out of alignment, and just know that you're constantly growing and expanding. So get excited. Those are 3 things to really stay aware of whenever you are facing resistance. It is actually really good thing. Let me know in the comments what videos you guys want to see more of. And last but not least, if you guys are really trying to narrow down this like frequency thing on money specifically, I did create a mini course. It is jam-packed full of stuff. It teaches you everything about, I always try to over deliver. So you guys, it's even money back guarantee. Link is in the description. There's a page on it, it describes it all. But that is going to help you guys really align yourself with vibrationally what you want in financially, abundance, prosperity wise, right? And then you can take those fundamentals and also apply them to other things that you want, because this is a science. Like it doesn't matter like if you're trying to match the frequency of money, doesn't matter if you're trying to match the frequency of love, like whatever, it's the same equation, which is why we bring that into every single video here, because it's so important. Everything comes down to a fundamental science equation, and we can always leverage it and know if we're using the science equation through our emotional intelligence. So let me know what else you guys want to know in the comments, what other videos you guys want to see, questions you have. Make sure I answer every single one of them. And as always, guys, dream big, live large, and be live. Bye.